Welcome to another edition of Salute to Industry. Today we are featuring IBM. We've got two wonderful IBMers, veteran IBMers with us, not just veteran IBMers, but veterans working in IBM. We've got Stephen Holloway and accompanied by Brian Fitzpatrick. And so today we want to feature and spotlight IBM, the great work we've been doing with them over the years. We work with them in a few capacities, and we wanted to highlight some of the specific cybersecurity trainings that they offer, along with what's brand new coming to the scene for the veteran community and people looking for employment in our space is the SkillsBuild community. That's why we have Mr. Stephen Holloway here. So Brian, and let's start with you. If you want to introduce yourself, go to a quick background, and then we'll go to Stephen, and then we'll jump into a couple questions I have for you guys. We might have lost Brian, but let's pivot to Stephen real quick. Stephen, talk to us a little bit about your connection to IBM, who actually went through VetJobs. And Absolutely. So let's talk about that. Tell us a little bit about your story.
Good. Thank you for having me, Don. Yes, Stephen Holloway. I am a veteran and had been in the nonprofit industry for 25 years, serving our communities, and decided last year that I wanted to do something different. A friend of mine had sent me an email back in early March, and I had this Casey link, and I just kind of looked at it, kept it, and put it in my Army folder and said, maybe I'll need this later. Little did I know, to come December of 2019, I needed to get connected with a military group to help me find another job. And so it was Casey. So I pulled that up, got involved, signed up. They began to help me make the transition from the nonprofit world into the IT industry. So they helped me with the application process for federal employment. They also helped me with reshaping my resume that I hadn't touched in years, and just gave me a lot of encouragement to keep moving forward. And so in February of 2020, I was invited to a SkillsBuild pilot program for veterans through Casey. And
you were the initial pilot. That's right. So you were one of the first groups to go through there. That's right. You were the guinea pigs.
Yeah, really. And Brian Fitzpatrick was one of the instructors that told this story and talked about SkillsBuild. And they asked, does anybody want to stay back and have lunch with us? So I stayed back and began to use my networking skills and all of the encouragement I had received from VetJobs. And they offered me an opportunity to work as a digital success manager 2 days later. And I started with IBM as the new U.S. digital success manager in March of 2020.
Let's cover a little bit about the programs. We talked about the I2 training and the Q Radar training, all around the new collar technical training and certification that IBM's really bringing to the veteran community. And that's the next opportunity, which is moving into SkillsBuild. And if I understand SkillsBuild correctly, it was an internal badging system, right? For IBMers, basically to reskill, or what do you call it, Stephen? Upskill?
Skill up.
Skill up, right? And if you can expand upon the opportunity for veterans to access SkillsBuild and what that could do for them.
Certainly. So SkillsBuild allows for the veteran to get business savvy while they're still in uniform and prepare them to have those conversations when they're at the interviews and to speak that language. Me, for example, I remember I went to a recruiting seminar, and this is before there was a SkillsBuild, and I talked to all these different companies, and I realized I did not speak that language, and they wanted to stick me in an Amazon warehouse in the middle of Oklahoma or something. That just wasn't what I wanted to do. So I had to go to grad school, and that cost money. SkillsBuild is free, and it allows you to do it while you're still in uniform, and you can learn soft skills or hard skills. You can do the coding, or you can learn how to get into sales, get into business. You can learn how to read pro forma P&L statements or build pro forma budgets. Understand what quarterly reports are, and it's all self-paced. And the beauty of it, though, is you're not doing it alone. There are coaches, and you can go in if there's a skill you want to brush up on or review a few things. You get online and set up an appointment with a coach, and the coach will come in there, and that's the subject matter expert. That SME from IBM, it's either a veteran or not a veteran, will come in and give that time, answer the question, and give them that coaching. And then ultimately, we're going to get to the part where there's a practical application and project and prove that you know how to do the work.
So it's really giving that validation of these soft skills, right? And what to me is becoming more important, being from the VetJobs perspective, and seeing the tens of thousands of people we see every year looking for work, is really a shift in the hiring marketplace where there's not a devalue in having a degree these days, but there's a lot more weight being given to these certifications that people are receiving and the soft skill verification. So this is the importance of this for people who are actually looking for work. Is really this is a differentiator from you to somebody else in the pile of resumes that are out there. Correct?
Correct. And I think that especially with a company like IBM that's really looking hard at veterans and what they bring to the company, when they decide to, and IBM, the new collar idea is that they're going for people who don't have traditional educational backgrounds. And they know that that's a good investment because your veteran will bring skills, leadership skills, management skills, problem solving skills that you don't learn at Stanford or Harvard MBA. It's great that you're smart enough to go get that, and I respect those. But if you're 24, 25 years old coming out with no life experience and you have that education, you're okay for the company. But man, if I get a 26-year-old who led a fire team or was in charge of an auxiliary room on a warship and had that business experience, you could talk about those and have those soft skills in the back pocket. Now I got a force multiplier. I got somebody that's going to be able to hit the deck plates running in the boardroom and look at a problem and attack it and not sit around and try to come up with a graph or a PowerPoint and figure out the best solution. In the meantime, you're losing the marketplace.
Let's educate the viewers here, Stephen, on the certification piece, and that it's out there, how you could use it on your resume and social as a leverage point to getting hiring in the hiring process. And how many are out there?
Well, SkillsBuild has over 7,000 learning activities on the platform. There are over 12, I think it is, certification preparation sessions, such as CompTIA pen tests and CompTIA security. There's Microsoft cloud. It's just a lot.
We're building on top. Yeah, we're building every day in there. I mean, Red Hat. We're adding Red Hat right now.
Yeah, Red Hat in there now. Now Fortinet is also in there as a certification.
That's right.
So, all of that, you gain that experience. You get a chance to, when you earn badges and those kind of things on SkillsBuild, and then you have an opportunity to move that over to your social media platform through our third party, which is Acclaim. And you can put it on your LinkedIn account. You can put it on your Facebook, Twitter. All of the badges that I've earned, with 8 so far, have been transferred over to my LinkedIn account because I've invested my own time in SkillsBuild because I believe in SkillsBuild. And I came just like Brian said, like I mentioned, he was a part of the team, a part of that pilot team in Houston back in February of this year. And so I'm able to take the skills that I'm learning because I had my own nonprofit organization. I was a CEO and I was a track commander in the Army. I was a drill sergeant in the military in Fort Benning, Georgia. And so I had those skills and was able to communicate with people effectively. And so that, and then I have 2 degrees. And so when all of this came together for me, it was just a perfect fit because I fit right up under the new collar thing that IBM had come together with. So really excited about what's happening.
And let's educate just a stat and a number to the community who's watching, how fast, and again, Brian, we spent, good year building this with Martin, Laird in the community and getting this prepped. And then with your group, it was months of planning. How fast has this gone since we launched that initial pilot with Steve and his group? What's the growth rate? Just to show where we started to where we're at today in the span of less than 6-8 months, right?
Well, let me just say this. It was Casey back then, but VetJob introduced me, okay? And so on March 18th of this year, I became the DSM for VetJob. At that time, that was 51 soldiers enrolled. Today, we have almost 800 soldiers listed in SkillsBuild through VetJob, and they've done a magnificent job. Great relationship with them. And on top of that, I've been able to work with what we call hub groups. I'm now working with groups in Pittsburgh and Raleigh, North Carolina, and Atlanta, and over in Canada. And I'm working with 15 groups now that are nonprofits and some small businesses.
Right.
Get onto the platform.
And this is just a showcase to the community the importance of SkillsBuild. Yes, we have these cybersecurity trainings, but SkillsBuild, it meets a lot of broader audience. It's applicable to a bigger audience of people, where if you're just in the cybersecurity space, the I2 training is great, the QRadar training is great, but SkillsBuild, look how fast it's grown exponentially. We haven't even marketed it fully to the community. This is just kind of like the pilot and test phase for us still to roll out to our audiences. Really excited about what's to come in 2021. Aside from getting rid of COVID and all this other BS that's going on in the election space, but really looking forward to what we can do with Brian and Steven in the group and pushing SkillsBuild out there to the community and just to highlight the opportunity for people, and that registering through VetJobs, that's where you can get started at. But before we wrap up, Brian, Steven, we'll round out with you guys. Any final thoughts to somebody who's out there, maybe that are transitioning? People in our audience are those guys, or they're veterans looking to pivot right now. We see a lot of those people coming in, which we have thousands in our pipeline right now looking for employment. Any parting words or thoughts to these individuals?
Certainly. As I talk to veterans that are working with IBM, one of the things that hit me was that they felt like IBM matched their culture better. And this is someone who worked at Amazon or a few of the other big tech companies, and it was just that IBM is more welcoming and inclusive. There was no immediate judgment that you're a veteran. And I'll tell you, you will be able to perform very well as a veteran at IBM. If you get the SkillsBuild, you learn about whatever technical subject you want, or whatever soft skill that has to be done, or how you're able to speak in the boardroom. Your superpowers, as Jason Kelly likes to call them, as a veteran, being direct, looking at the objective, figuring out the milestones to meet the objective, executing on time. That's just all second nature to us. That's Thomas J. Watson made it back in 1919 to hire veterans from World War I. And that commitment lives on 101 years later. And so I'm glad to be part of a company like that.
Yeah. How about yourself, Steven?
Wow. I would like to say to transitioning veterans as well as current veterans, I usually look at, I call it the 3 C's here with SkillsBuild. The first C is you have a chance to reskill or skill up with IBM at no cost. This is free. The second one is C. The second C is a challenge. The challenge is making time to embrace SkillsBuild. And then the last C is it's your choice. If you really want an experience that's going to take you to the next level in the IT industry, I would strongly encourage you to get involved with VetJobs. They've helped me become the soldier that I am today.
Absolutely. We certainly appreciate you, Brian, Steven, all the hard work that's gone into getting SkillsBuild to where it is today. A lot of man hours, hundreds of man hours just to get to this point. Very rewarding to see it grow from the first pilot up to over 800 right now. let's see where we can take this in 2021 and beyond. And we appreciate you guys, your service, and taking the time to come here together and make this video for us and educating people in the communities.